Hey beautiful, welcome to my channel. Today's video is an updates video. I have been trying so many new makeup products in the past couple of weeks, and a lot of them I have tried multiple times already, so I am back to give you like my final thoughts on them past my first impressions review that I already recorded. And I figured this would be the perfect time to film this video because I just did a Sephora haul and an Ulta haul, and I bought a whole bunch of new makeup. So I'm switching out the products in my things to further try drawer. So I'm bringing out what I've been trying for the past 3-ish weeks, and I'm putting in the new stuff. Anyways, I'll be telling you my final thoughts on Vieve products, Colourpop, Charlotte Tilbury, Kat Von D, Anastasia, Bare Minerals, Rare Beauty. I think I have 21-ish products in front of me that I'll be talking about today, and that's not counting things that come in multiple shades. So without further ado, let's just get started because I don't want this video to take forever. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, please don't leave without subscribing. By the way, for every single one of these products, there is a first impressions video on my channel as well, so if you want to go back and see how I used it the first time, definitely do that. I think I'm going to start with Rare Beauty and their highlighters. I have all 4 of the shades with me right here, and let me tell you my opinion on them. These have been very hyped up on the internet. I think they're still out of stock, and there's a reason for that. These I actually think are incredible, and I have been beefing with highlighter for the past couple of months. I was taking a highlighter break, but I want to explain to you why I truly think that these are special. First though, I want to point out that they are extremely delicate products. I'm super appreciative of the fact that Rare Beauty sent all 4 shades my way, and out of the 4 shades I have 2 broken ones, and they are the 2 lightest shades. One of them broke in transit, the other one I dropped and broke, so please be careful with your Rare Beauty highlighters because if they fall on the floor once, they are breaking, okay? Anyways, I'm going to show you this one because it's the prettiest looking one I can wear. This is the color Mesmerize, and I'm going to apply it with a REPHR number 16 brush. My trick to loving this highlighter is definitely using a very small brush to apply it, because a little bit of this highlighter goes a very long way, and I'm trying for it not to enhance my pores on my face and all of that. So I apply a bit of the highlighter, and then I really go in with my brush to buff it until it gives me this really stunning natural wet look to my cheeks, and I have really been loving it this way. One more thing I've been doing in order not to beef with my highlighter is just marking my beauty mark right there a little bit, because I feel like that's one of the things that is kind of like raised on my skin that makes it look like I have more texture, right? So here's the highlighter after I applied it with a very small brush, and I actually really love the way it looks. I like that it's just like a very intense shine, and there isn't like extra pieces of micro glitter in there, because I feel like my highlighters that have those extra pieces of micro glitter are the ones that I'm not loving on my skin as much. But this right here, if I'm like talking to you, whatever, I feel like it just looks natural, and like you pay a bit more attention to the top of my cheek, but it's not super blinding and it's not super obvious because that highlighter formula is so thin. So my final thoughts on the Rare Beauty highlighter is that the hype is definitely real. That if you want it, you should definitely get your hands on it. It is affordable, it is a beautiful product, and please, for the love of God, don't drop it because you will break them. I already broke mine. Moving on to this Colourpop blush right here in the shade Between the Sheets. I tried this in a video recently, forgot which video it was, but I hadn't ever tried this type of formula of blush from Colourpop, and I love it. I love this shade, it looks very natural, and I really love this formula right here. When Vanessa Myricks announced her blurring blushes, this is the effect that I was expecting from them, and it's not the effect that I got, because those just look like they have a natural finish to them. They don't necessarily look blurring, and I feel like this Colourpop formula, which is their Super Shock blush with a matte finish, this is an actually blurring formula. So I highly recommend it if you haven't tried it. It is a matte shade that when applied actually looks a little bit blurring on the skin. Do you see it right there? I don't want to put it everywhere because I have enough blush, but I'm telling you, this one is actually blurring and I loved it. So highly recommend this one as well. Let's move on to the worst product I tried this past few weeks, and that is this right here from Buxom. This is the Buxom Hush Hush Henna lip liner. I don't think I've ever tried a drier lip liner ever. I, for some reason, don't like this lip liner at all. I feel like it was a struggle to put on. It was a struggle to define my lips with this one. I didn't find it flattering. It was like very drying on my lips, which is weird to say about a lip liner because I feel like lip liners are matte for the most part, and so is this one. But to me, it was just hard to apply. It got stuck around my lips when I was applying it, and so because of the lack of creaminess, I found it difficult to trace the lip line. So I do not like or recommend the Buxom Power Line Plumping lip liners. This one was a no for me. Moving on to another fail, which was a product I wanted to love. Okay, I wanted to love this product so much, but I do not like it. And that is this one right here from Vive, the Vive Skin Nova Primer. It is a sheer golden shiny primer that does absolutely nothing for my skin. Yes, it gives it a bit of a glowy finish to it, but when I put it on top of my moisturizer, I feel like the moisturizer has the same exact effect on my skin. So I don't necessarily see the difference, and it kind of dries right away. See how it's no longer as shiny as it was a second ago? Besides that, I don't think it hydrates my skin, it doesn't mattify my skin, it doesn't blur my pores. I basically have nothing against it, but I also don't see the point to it because I just don't find that it does anything for me. And actually I do have something against it because one of the times I wore it, it started kind of like peeling a little bit from my face. So unfortunately, like I said, I really wanted to love it, but unfortunately it didn't work for me. And I have heard from you guys that there is a very similar product from Vive that is incredible, and it is not Skin Nova. It is called something else. So maybe I'll try that other one at some point, but this one didn't work. I'm going to put the name of that other product on the screen because I can't remember, but I didn't like the Skin Nova was the point of this rant. Now, since we're talking about the concealer, this one I did actually like. It applies beautifully, it blends beautifully, it builds beautifully. It's a medium buildable coverage, I would say, rather than a true full coverage. The only issue I had with this one is that I ordered color light 5, which was a bit too dark for me. But even if it was the right color for me, I know that because of the texture of it, even though I like it, it wouldn't have become an all-time favorite because I just find it to be a bit too thick, which on me sometimes creases a bit, and sometimes it just looks a bit too makeup-y underneath the eyes, like it enhances the lines a bit. So my final thoughts on this one was that it's not a terrible concealer by any means. I actually thought it performed okay. I give it like an 8 out of 10. It's just not the type of formula that I prefer. I usually go for like thinner, more hydrating type of concealers than this one. I guess I'll just keep going with the Vive products. So next we'll talk about the Vieve bronzer. So this is the bronzer that I am wearing today, and unfortunately I like half of this one. So if I were to only reach for this cool tone shade right here, that one I do like, but whenever I reach for this one, it looks very orange on me, which is strange because it doesn't really look that orange in there. But trust me, on me this looks super warm. Well, you can definitely see it right there. Let's swatch the other one so you can see this one next to it. The cool tone one is much better. So I do really like that shade. The formula of it though, fantastic. It blends very easily. I love the packaging of this concealer as well. This like faux leather exterior is beautiful. I love the logo. The packaging is perfection. The formula is also perfection. And I do like this shade right here. But today I tried mixing the two and it was still a bit too orange for me. So I can't use the second shade at all. I was giving it one final push today because I had tried this one on its own and that one on its own, and I didn't like this one on its own. So I was like, okay, maybe if I mix it, I can still get use out of the whole palette. Mixing it was a mistake. I had to fix it later with something else. So yes to this one, no to this one, and overall, unfortunately, is a no for me because I'm not using the whole thing. I'm only using half of it. I have 2 more Vieve products to talk about, and I actually love both of them. So let's get started with this one. This is the Vieve Modern Powder Perfector in Light, and this is such a nice blurring powder. Let me actually touch up a little bit and you can see it in action because this blurs my pores and it has a bit of coverage to it. So it makes everything look more mattified, a little bit blurred. You can definitely use it to touch up throughout the day if you need to. Look at the difference after the powder versus before the powder. I actually needed that touch up. Let's try it over here. See, you can see some pores, you can see some glowiness, but I want that to go away. I want to look a bit more blurred, a bit more mattified, a bit more put together, especially for the camera because the camera picks up on all of the shine. And to take a look at the after here, this Vieve blurring powder is amazing. I love it, highly recommend it. For me, this was definitely the best product out of everything I tried, and I'm not even a powder person. Like, I loved this one. The last product I have to tell you about from Vieve was their lipstick Wish. Actually, no, because I also have the lip liners. So the last 2 products I have to tell you about are the lip liner and the lipstick. The lip liner is super creamy, reminds me a lot of like the McGrath lip liner formula. I love the packaging. I also love the color that I chose, very long lasting in my opinion. And I got the lipstick in the shade Deity, which I also really, really love. The lipstick also reminds me of a luxury formula, and I love the packaging of it, is everything. So lip liner and lipstick, 10 out of 10. The setting powder, 10 out of 10. These are my 3 favorite products from Vieve that I tried. I'm glad I added them to my collection. They feel and perform luxuriously. They look luxurious. I highly, highly recommend these. These are definitely approved. Since we're in the subject of lip liners, I already knew I loved the Anastasia lip liner formula. It's a bit more drier, more so like a MAC lip liner formula, but that makes it be very precise and very long lasting as well. Out of the 4 shades that they sent me, my 2 favorite ones are definitely the cool tone ones because I'm just not much of a warm toned lip type of person. So Rosewood is a bit more of a like darker type of shade and I loved it. This one pairs amazingly with a lot of lipsticks in my collection, and my all-time favorite Anastasia shade has to be Muted Mauve. I've already had to sharpen this one at least 4 to 5 times because I keep wearing it. And here is what this lip liner looks like. It's a bit more cool toned, a bit less rosy, and the perfect contouring color for the lip area in my opinion. I cannot stop using it, and I love putting it on and then filling in my lips with it. It looks so good. These last forever on, so I highly recommend them, in particular these 2 colors, most importantly the Muted Mauve one. As far as the warmer shades were concerned, obviously I love the formula because it's the same, but the shades of Mocha and Caramel were just not my cup of tea. Moving on to the new shades of the lipsticks, the actual lipstick formula was fantastic. They are creamy. I don't think that they're the longest lasting lipstick ever, but they also didn't go away very fast. I love that they have this really nice creamy consistency to them. I love that the colors are very opaque. And my favorite formula was this one here called Blush Brown. Really, really love this one. They have this like semi-matte finish to them that feels very creamy going on the lips, but like I said, it gives you full opacity. I also like these 3 shades, although not as much because they're not as nude, because I'm obsessed with nude lipstick. That is a me problem. But Hush Rose, Hush Pink, and some Baked are also really stunning colors. If you want to see all of these tried on, definitely check out the video where I tried them for the first time. And then the only shade they sent that I didn't like at all was the warm taupe shade. Overall, I think the Anastasia lipsticks for me are like a 9.5 out of 10. But you want to know what was a 10 out of 10? The glosses. These new Anastasia glosses, this gloss formula that they came out with is so incredible. They remind me a lot of like the Pat McGrath gloss formula, where it's like very juicy, very glossy, pretty long lasting for a gloss, but it's not sticky. And I do of course have my favorite shades from here. First of all, the shade Goldie right here, which looks like a very intense like rose gold metallic type of color, is actually pretty clear once you put it on the lips, so don't be afraid of it. And it does have a bit of like an extra sparkly shine to it, so if you're into that, go for this one. My two favorite shades, however, and I did like every single one of these, but my two favorite shades were soft pink, if you're going for a baby pink nudie type of a lip look, take a look right there. And if you like a cool toned lip look, definitely go for the taupe, or you can use it the way I used it today. I was wearing a lipstick that was a bit too warm for me, and I put the deep taupe one over it, and it just made it a bit more neutral. And I actually really appreciated that about this one. So if ever you find yourself not loving the warmth of your lipstick, this could be a way to neutralize it as well. But on its own, I also love the formula, so check it out right there. I have one more product from Anastasia that I tried this month, and it is the Anastasia Waterproof Gel Liner in the shade Dark Side. It is a really nice black eyeliner. With that said, while it's great, it performs amazingly and it is very pigmented, there's also nothing overly special about it, because I feel like there's 1,000 other black eyeliners like this one out there. So while it's nice, I don't think it's a must-have. The lip liner and the glosses though, definitely get those. You know how I said that in these updates video I've tried every single one of these products multiple times? Well, I lied, because this next one I only tried once. I did try it a few different ways, but only once, and I never picked it up again because it is horrible. And it is these right here from Ciate, London. These are called the Eve Luster Cream Shadows. You guys, I don't know how to make these work. They dry down and they become super patchy looking, super uneven looking. And it's actually quite a shame because they swatch beautifully, but you see like even on the swatch, this one has like less product right there. If you try to like even that out, it starts getting worse and worse and worse. It does not get better. And I can never get it to look even. So combining this on the eyes, which is a round surface, with powder shadows was a total nightmare. In the video where I tried these, I tried using them on their own. I tried combining the shades as well, and nothing worked for me. So unfortunately, I don't recommend these. The only way I didn't try them was on their own without having matte eyeshadows under them. But I didn't try them that way because I know that I would never use them that way. So unfortunately, these were definitely a no for me. Let's move on to some other eye shimmers. These I tried more recently, and I have tried them just once after my initial review video, but my thoughts are the same because these Pat McGrath single shadows are actually pretty great as far as their formula is concerned. They're not only beautiful shades, but these do apply very evenly. You can kind of tamper with them a little bit while they're drying, and they give you this really nice opaque look to the eyelid. So formula wise, I did really like these new formulas from Pat McGrath. My issue with these is that they're not special. They're not shiny, they're not glittery, they're not fun, they don't have that avant-garde Pat McGrath je ne sais quoi. In my opinion, if you have a regular shimmer shade and you wet your brush with a bit of setting spray and you put it on the eyelids, you're going to get a very similar look to the look that these end up giving you on the eyes. They just don't have added sparkle, they don't have added shine to them. They're kind of normal, which is just not what I expect from Pat McGrath, and so therefore I didn't give them a great review. They're good formula wise, 10 out of 10, but I just wanted more. Whenever it comes to Pat McGrath, I always want a little bit of shimmer and shine, a little bit of fun, something unexpected, a duochrome, something. And these are just plain, you know? Moving on to these right here from Kaleidos. Formula wise, both of these products are fantastic. So these right here are the new-ish, because I did take over a month to try them, new-ish Kaleidos contour products. And I have the opposite problem with this as I do the Vieve bronzer. Like I said, on both of these, the formula is great, but these are a bit too cool toned for me. So I can never use it alone. I always have to use it in combination with a bronzer, which if that's the way you expect to use this product, okay, just know that it's not going to sculpt and bronze at the same time. It's just going to sculpt. So keep that in mind. You do need a bronzer with it as well, at least I do. Those of you who can never find a cool enough bronzer for you, maybe this is your answer right here. And remember how I told you I was looking a bit too orange combining these two bronzers earlier? Well, I put this one over top and it kind of calmed down the extra warmth that Vive had given me. So combined, they're kind of good. But on its own, this one is a bit too cool toned for me. I do need a bronzer. This under eye setting powder type of product, which I think is the same that comes in the individual one, the little under eye powder. I actually do like this one. It's great to set your concealer with if you need a little bit of extra brightness, if your concealer is not the right color. This right here is great. And these powders are matte, they're thin, they're not going to make your texture stand out, they're smoothing. Like I said, formula wise, I really love them. And if you're looking for just a sculpting powder, I do recommend them. However, know that you will need a bronzer with this one. I'll definitely be ending this video on a good note because all of the products I have left I loved. Starting with this right here, I'm not going to talk too long about it because it's just a liquid blush. This is Milk's Bionic blush. I have mine in the shade Infinity, and this is a fantastic blush. I really loved it. I don't even remember what video I tried this one on, but I have tried it also off camera a few times, and I just really like the glow that this one gives my cheeks. It applies beautifully, it builds nicely, and every time I've worn it, I like the way my cheeks look. Next, let's talk about the Kat Von D Good Apple foundation, and my first impressions on this one was a roller coaster of emotions. At first, it was kind of horrible, like things weren't looking good, and then after I had this product on for a while, it kept looking better and better and better. By the end of the night, I was loving it, and I have used this one multiple times since I did that first impressions video, and I can tell you that my main mistake was using a brush. If you have dry skin like me, stay away from the brush with this one. The brush will not do you any favors. Definitely use a sponge to apply it. Work in sections, one cheek first, the other cheek afterwards, the forehead afterwards. Sections works great. The sponge works great, and if it looks a bit too matte at first, which on me I feel like at the very beginning it can be a bit too matte for my personal taste, don't worry about it because after 30 minutes or so it'll look natural, and from then on to the end of your day it's going to look fantastic. This isn't the most natural looking product because it does have a fair amount of coverage to it, but know that it is a very long lasting makeup product that even if you have dry skin, if you use a sponge, I feel like it'll work for you. If you have any dry patches though, like your skin is like visibly peeling somewhere, it'll stick to the dry patches unfortunately, so in that case I wouldn't recommend it. But if you're looking for a very long lasting, very thin foundation with a really good amount of coverage, then I would definitely go for it. I have a foundation powder to talk about, and that is the Bare Minerals Bare Pro powder. I have mine in the color Fair 50 Neutral. This one seems to work for me this pale winter. And this powder is amazing. I actually used to use this powder all the time back when I worked at the store because it is so easy to apply and it covers so well. I went through a full one of it, and I almost finished a second one. They, I think, reformulated it, changed the name, changed the shades or something, because I used to use Light Natural 09 and my new shade is the Fair 15 Neutral. So the shades have definitely been changed, but I actually think that the product performs the same as it always has, and I love it. I'll share with you my favorite way of applying this one, and some of you might be surprised. But I actually like to put on moisturizer and primer, and then with a brush, just dab this one all over my face without using any foundation underneath or anything, because this is a powder foundation, and it gives you great coverage, and it looks very natural. And it is a half a minute makeup application. You don't have to twirl and buff and blend. You just pat it on with a big foundation brush on top of your moisturizer and primer, or just your moisturizer, and it works fantastic. So that is the reason that I used to use this one so much, because for an everyday basis, being able to get your makeup on so quickly was definitely something that I needed. This was definitely a go-to product for days where I was running late. Just two more products to talk about. This Tom Ford Soft Matte Concealer. I have not been able to put it down since I first tried it last Sunday. I have worn it almost every time since, and I love it. It is creamy, it is hydrating, it blends like a dream, it is buildable. You can put powder over top of it or wear it without powder. It doesn't crease either way, which is mind-blowing to me. Yes, it is a pretty penny, but when I tell you, I always hate all concealers. If you've watched my concealer reviews, you know I always have something to say about concealers. And this one, I was taken aback at how good it wore throughout the day. I was like, look, it creased a little. No, it didn't. It did not crease, not even a little bit. It was crazy. So needless to say, I know this is a luxury item, but if you can spare the $60, I would definitely go for it. Now, don't go in debt over a concealer, okay? Don't do that. But if you can spare the $60, I would definitely try this one because it is fantastic. Also, it is a Nordstrom exclusive. And you guys know that Nordstrom is amazing at taking things back if you need to return it. So you might as well try it, I'm just saying. Because I promise you, you're going to love it. But in case you don't, you can always take it back to Nordstrom. So highly recommend this. Is the understatement of the year. I loved it. Last but not least, the Charlotte Tilbury Matte Beauty Blush ones. I'm obsessed with these, okay? I don't know what it is about this product. I feel like it shouldn't be that special, but they're amazing. They apply very easily. They blend like a dream. They have such a nice amount of pigmentation to them. They are incredible, incredible blushes. And I love them. My most favorite shade from the two lightest one that I got is definitely the shade Peach Pop right here. This is the one that I've been using the most, liking the most. It doesn't look as orange as it looks on the pan right here. On me, I promise you, it looks really natural. And so out of these two, I highly recommend this one, but I'm definitely going to get my hands on the Pillow Talk version of this at some point because I need to try it. So love, love, love this one. Highly recommended. Anyways, those are my updates on all of the fabulous makeup I've been trying for the past few weeks. There was a lot that I loved and some things that just didn't work for me, as you could see. If there's anything that you're interested in, I have everything listed and linked down below in the description box of this video. And I also have a list down there of everything I'm wearing on my face today. So definitely check it out. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please don't leave without subscribing. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you back in the next video. Bye.